Hello dear friends, I'm Professor Kakhaber Jaqeli and we are speaking about integrated marketing communications. This is chapter number 8, processing and the process of integrated marketing communications. So today we will speak about a lot of different kind of things, especially how messages they reach final customers and what final customers do and how they respond to our messages and what we should do to go deeply into their brains to position our message and together with message to position well products, services, great brands, beginning startup products of startup corporations, and what to do to all these kind of great tasks, what is entitled as processing of the message to reaching the brains of final customers. First of all, we say today that there are 6 steps of persuasive message. The first step, this is very easy to understand. The message must be presented to target customer. That means that through marketing research we should choose target customer, and this target customer should be from the segment of the product, from the segment of the service, and we should direct all our efforts to this kind of customer, what is selected really through marketing research. After that, what we do, so we should think about how our final customer can be more attentive to our message. So about attention we will speak at all. A lot of things we can discuss in the process of attention, and we should know that today people are less attentive because people, they are covered by a lot of different information, and this kind of different sorts of information, they make people tired. That means that to gain attention, to attract attention to our products and services, we should be really very serious. We should work really very well and do our best to direct the person towards product or service we are offering to them. So the third main stage, this is how people will respond to our message, to our product, to our brand message, what they will do when they reach our signal, when they reach our informational wave. And we know that information is like wave, and people finally they get reached by this kind of wave. But what they do, how they respond our wave, so how they comprehend the signal we send to them. So after that, this is already next stage in our discussion, how they understand our arguments. Are they yield to the arguments? Are they so decide positively to our suggestion, to our message, to our information? So the next stage will be how to retain these people for a long period or forever. And the last one, how they act after they get reached by our messages and by our information. So wonderful, great person established the information and established the information processing paradigm was Mr. McGurk, who established 6 steps model, and these 6 steps, they are like presentation of messages, they are attention to messages, they are comprehension to the messages, this is agreement, this is relation to the messages, and finally this is action. Right now we should think about how to start persuasive communication, and right now we should think about the model of paradigm, the model of attention. We know well that people are really overtired by information. They sometimes build walls against all kinds of messages, and to reach their brains, to reach their heart, we should overcome this this kind of brain walls, and so make something really interesting to improve or increase attention of the person towards information. So what is main thing in these kind of activities? We should know well what is the desired response, what kind of response we want to have to our message. So this is desired response, and processing, if we know desired response, processing goes really well and achieves all kind of targets we have in our communication process. So we should know well that the first great marketologist or marketer was famous Greek philosopher whose name is Aristotle. So Aristotle established all kind of stages of communication into three main parts. And Aristotle says that first of all we should start by ethos, we should continue by pathos, and we should finish by logos. How it can be translated? Ethos, according Aristotle, this is very interesting part of the information when we start to create awareness to the product, to some kind of subject, to some kind of object, to some kind of value. So we try to increase value of something. We try to increase awareness towards product or towards services, and this is ethos. So wonderful word, what can be used even today in marketing communication. How you create ethos. So are you successful to create ethos? So because this is really very simple way to understand the process of communication and the processing at all. So ethos, this is information, and after ethos we have pathos. Pathos is emotion. How you create emotion? How you create some kind of art of sensation. And what is the sensation? Once again, I want to repeat that we have five senses. All humans have five senses, and these senses should be reacted and should respond to successful message sent by successful integrated marketing communicator. So this is entitled as pathos. We have positive pathos. That means that emotions are well developed. But emotions are not enough. We know that emotions can be even negative. When I'm saying about pathos, mostly I'm persuaded that our great products and great services, they can be responded by positive emotions. But even negative emotions, sometimes they work really well. So negative emotions, this is one of very interesting marketing paradoxes, that if people claim that they were underestimated or underserved by hotel industry, for example, even these people can be turned into loyal customers to the hotel industry. This is one of very famous paradoxes in our marketing time. So when we speak about pathos, pathos is emotion, and emotion has a lot of different stages, and these different stages we will discuss today. So the last one, and I'm saying that pathos is not enough. We need logos. Logos is logical arguments. And these logical arguments making our pathos to be more suitable for final customers. They have not only emotion, but they have arguments that their emotions are really wonderful and right. So what they love, what they like, these kind of things they love and they like in right way, this is logos. And logos is needed, and all times we should think about how to create logos at the process of integrated marketing communication. Sometimes we start with ethos, continue with logos, and finally we have pathos. Sometimes the model works in this way. We have first of all ethos, after that we create some kind of pathos or emotions, and finally we try to encourage people using a lot of portion of the logos, and this works, and this can work really well. So this is a very interesting type of persuasive communication, and we know that sometimes 50% of final customers, they are reached in some kind of stages of communication, but finally only 2% of them, they do action, they do purchasing action. So that's why communications is very important, and it's also very hard, because as much time we spend, sometimes we face really little response from final customers. So, and we should understand that something goes wrongly, and this something can be not very creative process of communication, not sustainable message, or not attractive, interesting message, and something fails. Some kind of part of communication should be screened by integrated marketing communications audit. So this kind of audit should be done in the middle process of integrated marketing communication processing. So attention is a wonderful thing, and this very nice model what was established by great Aristotle in current languages, in English language, can be translated into attention and learning, acceptance and emotion. So today our model, what is famous, popular, everybody knows this model, and everybody should know this model. This is divided into 4 main stages of integrated marketing communication processing exposure. This is attention, learning, acceptance and emotion. So attention sometimes goes to neuropsychology, because people are sometimes attentive in subconscious. Sometimes they are attentive when they sleep. It's also interesting. People are attentive or less attentive when they listen you. We know a lot of interesting paradigms and a lot of interesting rules established by different directions of management. For example, when we meet to our students, we all time start our conversation using 10 skills of good listening. And what are these kind of 10 skills of good listening? It's not 10 stages of creative attention. So what is the creative attention? Attention is like demand. Conversation or art of oratorial. So some conversations, they look like supply of information. And if attention is nice, attention is overwhelming, attention is encouraging, that means that supply of information is also well developing and really wonderful and attractive. So according to different kind of studies, even attention makes informational supply to be more interesting and more developing and more active. So when we go to neuropsychology and psychology, we understand how people understand something, why they are not attentive, in which kind of periods of their life they are less attentive, and in which kind of period of life their attention is growing. And we understand that while the notion of attention may seem obvious, there is nonetheless a great deal of debate in the field of neuropsychology or neurology, or just some kind of message. What should be message? What should be time to make people to be persuaded by some information? In a very nice example established by Simons and Chebris, we have this kind of interesting group, a field of people tossing at basketball, some kind of interesting, very great time of game, and students play basketball and everybody is attentive to them. Some of basketball player is doing great dribbling to go and to make its great some kind of shot, but in this kind of place gorilla comes and plays together with basketball players, and after that disappears. And this was really wonderful experiment, and nobody were attentive to gorilla because everybody were attentive to heroes, to great basketball players from Student League of the United States. And this experiment was done in the United States, and this experiment shows how people are less attentive if they are most attentive to some kind of part of the picture. So they see big picture, they see basketball player, and they are not attentive to some kind of small details, what is happening in another part of the picture. So it's interesting how to use this knowledge, this knowledge to make our customers to be more situated to the process of integrated marketing communications. And what's very interesting, learning is wonderful thing, and consumers they learn. We should try to teach our customers. All times great marketing looks like teaching, and great consumer culture looks like learning, and we should increase the potential of learning, and we should try to make our customers to learn a lot of things from us. And learning is very connected to brand awareness. We know that people from beginning they have less awareness to the solution of the products and services towards them, and we should try to increase people's awareness, and people's awareness can be increased only through learning, and learning is also connected to the brand attitude. This is key to understand the process of the brand attitude. So the learning process, if it's very harmonical and very well developed, this kind of process can be finished by great and wonderful type of brand attitude, positive brand attitude. So, and it's very interesting, the concept of the latitude of rejection. What is the concept of latitude of rejection? For example, in a new hybrid automobile market, we see one of hybrid automobile brand what claims that this brand and this car is more powerful than BMW, and the target audience is likely to dismiss it out of hand, and such a claim would fall into what Mr. Sheriff, who is marketologist, who is great marketer, what Mr. Sheriff and Holland, this is also great marketer, they call latitude of rejection. So what should be done after that? If hybrid car claims that this is great and this is more powerful than BMW, so people will not believe, but they will go to make trial. They will go to taste themselves. So there are very interesting models, low versus high involvement models in decision making, and these models are quite interesting. Mr. Solomon, who established great interesting experiments in consumer purchasing behavior, he established some models, and these models show us how people decide in different stages, in stage of low or high involvement. So high involvement goods, they have wonderful chance after brand awareness directly to be turned into brand attitude and to be followed by purchasing action. But low involvement brands, low involvement products, after brand awareness, they need trial. So product should be tried, product should be tasted, and they should be into some kind of trial, and after trial consumers can have positive or negative attitude, and according positive attitude, some of them they do purchasing action. So also this is close to diffusion theory of consumer purchasing activities. So diffusion theory, once again, I want to tell you that this diffusion theory says that first of all innovators they buy, and the number of innovators, this is 2.6% of the target customers, and after that, so coming early adopters, what is 16%, after early adopters they can be early majority and late majority, and at the end laggards who are conservators, they buy products and services if these products and services they are new, this new type of products and services. When we say about emotion, emotion is wonderful and great. Aristotle entitled emotion as a wonderful thing what is entitled in old Greek language as a pathos. So Aristotle says pathos, we say emotion, and one of interesting marketers, Damasio, in 1999, he described different types of emotion, and he described and defined emotion as the full human impact of emotion is only realized when they are sensed, when they become feelings, when those feelings are felt, and that is when they become known with the assistance of consciousness. So it's wonderful. This definition is a little long, but it's wonderful. But emotion needs no definitions at all. We understand emotion because all of us, we are emotional people. And so 3 stages of emotion we should try to understand and discuss. Most people who study emotion describe it in terms of three different components, refer to the reaction triad. Psychological arousal, this is first stage. Second stage, this is motor expression. And the third stage, it's subjective feeling. So to understand this kind of thing, Mr. Percy, author of wonderful book, What is Strategic Integrated Marketing Communications, he gives us very interesting type of example. He says that suppose you came across some snake and you walk, but you see snake. And what is happening after that? You have psychological arousal. And this kind of psychological arousal makes adrenaline in your blood to move to your brain, and you have some kind of things. You feel that this is great peril for you and you perish. You can perish. You can perish from this kind of snake. But what happens after that? So this kind of type of motor expression, this is freezing effect. Well, this is motor expression. You are freezed. Some people, they are freezed. Some people, they are more active. They try to kill this snake. This is according what kind of type of trainings people have. Soldiers can have more aggressive type of motor expression after that. But non-soldiers, they can be freezed by this kind of peril. And by the way, so right now I have this kind of memories, what I read about Julius Caesar and how Julius Caesar was selecting bodyguards. He was doing many aggressive and risky experiments to his bodyguards, and people having effect of so pale cheeks, they were out of the game. So because they were not so reactive after some kind of risk situation we established. So when person becomes pale, that means that his blood or her blood is not moving faster. And that means that for bodyguards, this is some kind of time lost. And time lost means already so big mistake and defeat in the action. But another part of bodyguards who became some blushed with red face, like blushed, but blushed. So with red face, red cheeks, red so face. Julius Caesar was deciding that they were more fast moving and faster thinking guys. And these faster thinking guys were so selected as bodyguards of a great emperor Julius Caesar, and he was deciding that right now he had great bodyguards. And in real action this was true, because despite a lot of risks and a lot of danger situation, so what was in the very victorious route of General Julius Caesar, his bodyguards saved him really well, because they were selected according to the psychological theory of motor expression, what we have right now in our integrated marketing communication to understand well emotion. So in that kind of case, person watching snake, this person has psychological some kind of problem, and this is translated into motor expression, and he is freezed. But finally we have subjective feeling, and only then do you become aware of this sense of danger and fear. This person tries to escape, and this person tries to leave this space. So this is final action. So right now in marketing, different kind of tactics, different kind of equipment, electro equipment can be used to understand emotion of the people, especially neuropsychology using neuroimagery with positron emission tomography, what is really new machines of marketing, and this kind of equipment they scan and functionally study psychology of the person during the process of emotion, and even magnetic resonance imagery can be used to understand how people fall into emotion, what they think, how they turn into next stage, what is motor expression, and how they turn into third stage, what is subjective feeling to the subject. So there are different kind of types of processing. Unconscious processing is wonderful because we have unconscious memory, unconscious learning, and when we drive our car, we stop immediately at a red light. So we are not asking our brain what we are doing. We immediately do this action. This is unconscious processing. And marketers, we dream to have this unconscious processing in many kind of customers. So if customers unconsciously process their decision, that means that branding process goes really well. And conscious processing is when people respond consciously to everything what marketers do, what integrated marketers do, and so finally they have very real questions to their mind, and they discuss something, discuss with other kind of people, and so finally they do their interesting type of decision making. So finally we can say that all this process they are relevant, and we should go and we should think about the art of persuasion, and we should try to use this art of persuasion into marketing. And art of persuasion is divided into 6 main stages. And this first stage, this is reciprocity. That means that we understand others and others understand us. We understood well because we understand others really well. So this is reciprocity. Scarcity means that customers of our products and services, they should know that they should hurry up to find our products and services because this is high demanded product, and so they should hurry up due to different kind of marketing actions. So couponing actions, discounting actions, price off actions, some other kind of types of marketing activities. So they should try to get this product with high value. What is the high value? High value means that product has very high quality, positive attitude, less price than value. That means that this is wonderful product, wonderful good. So authority means that experts are involved into activities and experts, they say their opinion. Consistency, this is information, what is put into integrated marketing communications process. And liking, we should try to be liked by our final customers, and we should achieve liking through creative actions and creative signaling to final customers. And consensus. Consensus means that we try to make our customers victorious. So our customers, they are winners and we are winners after them. So win-to-win philosophy make companies to find and to looking for consensus in real exchange process. So if we want to establish great message, we understand that this has 6 stages. The message should be presented to target audience. Once again, this message should be very attentive, and people should be very attentive to this message, and message should discuss wonderful things, and we should find arguments to persuade our final customers and retain our final customers and make our final customers to act according our messages. So even in country marketing, different countries have different great messages or great associations. I like very much, for example, Irish message, what was used by Irish organization, Irish agency of international relations, and this message was the following: hire us today, not to be hired by us tomorrow, like this. And the second message was: the people in Ireland is as wine in France. So this kind of messages, they encouraged people, encouraged the whole world to go to this wonderful country, to find arguments, to respond to this message, to think to this message that this kind of information was right or not right. So that means that messages should include some kind of interesting things, encouraging us to go and find and check and control and try and taste. So this kind of messages can be assumed as great messages if they encourage us to this kind of activities. So finally, what is very interesting to all kind of messages in marketing is this kind of following 5 great questions what we should use all times when we do something. What will be said? How it will be said? When it will be said? Where it will be said? And who will say it? These kind of things, they have wonderful and interesting listeners. And answers on this kind of question can check all our message processing system and message processing planning to find great messages to our integrated marketing communication and target these messages to our wonderful, great customers. Today I am finishing our conversation and wishing you wonderful day and great weekend. Thank you very much.